3, 2, 1. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Today is January 26th. It's a Tuesday night. It's 8:36 p.m. on a beautiful night here in El Paso, Texas, guys.
Fucking cold, dude.
As always, guys, Mr. Misael is here today. Misa, say what's up.
Yo, what it do?
Also, guys, in the producer chair today for his very first time making his debut on the Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. His name is Dolph Jimenez. Dolph, say what's up.
Yo, it's about time.
Hey, I didn't know you were gonna have your kids on here, bro.
Dolph. Okay, guys, special guest for episode number 60, Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. His name is Roberto Villa. Go ahead and say what's up to the podcast, man.
What's going on, everybody?
So, guys, our boy Roberto reached out to us after seeing one of our episodes. We'll get into that, but Roberto here has a very interesting background. He is actually the CEO of Fight Book MMA. He actually hosts his own podcast called Sitting Ringside, and he used to be an amateur cage fighter and a kickboxer. So
dangerous. This man's dangerous, guys.
He's a weapon.
He's a weapon. Dude.
So yeah, so he's got an interesting story to tell. We're gonna get into that, guys. But as you know, there's a tradition on this podcast that we have to abide by. It's called the cracking of the celebratory beers. And it sounds a little like this. Oh, there you go. So with that being said, guys, cheers to everybody. Cheers, Roberto.
Cheers. This water.
Cheers.
I'm gonna indulge. Oh, that's cold, bro. That's cold. That is super cold. Okay, so Mr. Roberto, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Introduce yourself to the audience for the people who do not know who you are.
Well, my name is Roberto Villa, and like you said, I am the CEO and owner of Fight Book MMA. It is a combat sports media website. And I'm also the host for my podcast that airs live every Thursday night called Sitting Ringside. Yeah, guys, I mean, I grew up here in Albuquerque, in Juarez, and graduated from Las Cruces High.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, dude.
Juarez, were you born in Juarez, born in Juarez, or you should spend a lot of time out there?
No, so I was born in Ruidoso. And once I was born, my parents moved over here to Albuquerque. And for 15 years, man, when school was done, I'd go to Juarez, live there. When school was ready to come back, I'd come back to Albuquerque, go to school. And I did that for 15 years.
They send you back to Juarez just to see that you learned anything, to like teach people, hey, see if Robert learned
I had to teach my cousins English, my friends.
Exactly.
That's funny, dude.
But then I would forget it, man. I forget the English when I came back, and I'm like, what are we talking?
That's cool, dude. It's funny that you actually have ties to El Paso because you actually reached out to me on Facebook, I believe. And I think it's because you said you saw our podcast come across your YouTube feed. So tell us a little bit about that, because I thought that was interesting.
So, because I have a podcast, I follow other podcasters. And so I was looking for a podcast show here in New Mexico or in El Paso, wherever. And so I did a search, and your show popped up, and I was like, let me see who these guys are. So I listened to the show, and I was like, okay, I like these fools. I'm going to reach out.
I'm down.
I'm like, yeah, these guys are cool. I'm going to listen to them. So I hit subscribe.
Awesome.
And and then here we are.
Yeah, here we are, dude. It took us a little while to schedule this, but I mean, you know how it is when you have a podcast, you have, people on different schedules, and it's
people showing up late.
People showing up late, like in Misa's case, you know what I mean? So it just all depends. But we are glad for you to be here, and we do appreciate that you took the time out of your day to come and sit with us and do this podcast. So shout out to you for that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So one thing that I like about you is that you're familiar with the area of El Paso, Juarez, Las Cruces. You're the first person I think I've ever met that was actually born in fucking Ruidoso.
I was about to say, dude.
He was born in Ruidoso, guys.
Is that even
It's funny, man, because my parents, they took me to Ruidoso, right? And we started, I asked them, I was like, can you take me to the hospital I was born at? So they looked at me and they're like, all right. So we went up a hill into the mountains. And next thing I started seeing a bunch of houses. And my dad's like, you see that house right there? And I'm like, yeah, that's your hospital.
Makeshift ass hospital.
I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Logs and everything, dude.
That's what's up, dude. But that's cool. So speaking about Ruidoso, I don't know if it snowed over there, but it snowed in El Paso today, guys.
Dude,
And like,
you call that snow?
well, dude, okay, look, it didn't really snow, but goddamn, El Paso acted like it snowed, and there was fucking semis fucking hijacked on the freeway. Like it was a fucking horrible day for traffic. So shout out to you guys, El Paso.
Snow day.
You guys really showed out today, guys. We like that. Good shit, guys.
My daughter asked if they were gonna have a snow day from school, and I was like, girl, you're at home when you do that shit at home. What are you talking about? God bless.
Snow day at home.
Is there gonna be school today because it's snowing? I was like, yeah, you're just gonna have to do it here at home.
Okay, but hold up. You're acting like if you were a fucking kid, you wouldn't have asked that question. I would have asked that question too.
Well, yeah, because we we're not doing like virtual stuff like they are. Like my daughter's already at home and she's asking if like,
dude, I still
are they gonna send us home because of the snow?
I still would have been like, is Microsoft Teams not working because of the snow? Did the server crash? Like, are we done for the day?
Is that frozen? My computer froze. It's cold outside.
You literally tell your fucking teacher, hey, the reason I didn't show up to class today was my computer froze. Like it literally was frozen.
It was frozen.
That's what's up, dude. So whereabouts now do you live in Albuquerque? Are you like closer to the mountain? Is it the Rio Rancho area? Like where are you out there?
Yeah, so I'm close to Bernalillo. I'm about like 10 minutes away from there. So it's south of Albuquerque. I think I'm about 45 minutes from the mountains. So it's pretty close, man. When it snows, we get that snow here.
Have you been out?
You go down, and then you go down the hill, dry.
Yeah. I've been to Albuquerque, dude. Have you been to Albuquerque?
I've been to the zoo. That's all I remember.
Have you been to Albuquerque, Aaron?
Oh, yeah,
or Dolph? Sorry.
Yeah, we've been to there.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've been to Albuquerque. We've seen like rap shows there. But my girlfriend, my girlfriend Lena is actually out she's from Moyarty, which is outside of Albuquerque through the fucking through the mountains. So she's familiar with the area. I've been there plenty of times. So I definitely have a feel for the vibe out
Last time I went, dude, they broke into my cousin's car. That's all I remember.
That's Albuquerque for you, man.
Yeah, that's vintage Burki right there.
Yeah. Never went back.
They just rake them in.
That's fucking funny. God damn it, Albuquerque. Why do you guys have to have a problem with meth and homeless people? What's the deal? Why? Why is it that way?
It's a perfect storm, dude. Meth, homeless people. What do you want?
Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's crazy, dude. So I think we were talking about something that like we were talking about the interests that you have, mutual interests that me and you have is we actually like this weird thing about abandoned places, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. And then in Albuquerque, there's like an abandoned fucking, what is it? Like a train yard?
Yeah. So it's the rail yards. So to start why I got into this. So I'm a huge fan of like the paranormal and, and I follow a lot of, I've been a huge fan of Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Taps, if you want to call them Taps. I mean, they're not around anymore, but then I started following a lot of people on YouTube that do stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to see if I can find an abandoned place and check it out, maybe take some pictures and film. So I went to the rail yards and I was like, I saw this old man. I was like, hey, do you think I can get access to the rail yards? He's like, no, but I'll get you access to the back part of ours. That's part of the rail yards, but that we own. I'm like, all right. So
and the
once I was there,
the guy was a ghost. Watch.
No.
Before the guy was
there. So I went, I started filming, I took pictures, and I got hooked. So then I found this place that's here in Albuquerque, and it's an abandoned slaughterhouse.
Shit.
Yeah, that place. Yeah, that place is badass. You have to walk.
All you hear is moo. Oh, yeah, dude. I don't know, man.
Pretty wicked, dude.
At a goddamn slaughterhouse. That's crazy, dude. Yeah. So where else have you been? Have you been besides those other two places? Like, I know there's like an abandoned Walmart in like El Magordo that I've seen on the fucking internet that people have explored. Where have you been anywhere else besides those two spots?
Well, I went to an abandoned house in Corrales. It's about like 15 minutes from where I live. And I just found it on accident. I was just driving down and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna go. And so I did a Yui, went there, and I started exploring. I even went to the neighbors to see if I can have permission to, and she's like, go. No, everybody does it. So I was like, all right. So I went. Dude, it was awesome. I thought I heard something. I thought I heard something, but it could have been the wind or the cars. I don't know. I really can't say because I don't know if I didn't hear when I was editing the video, but I don't know.
I mean, I think like when you put yourself in that situation, I think your mind is more open to like hear something, you hear a bird break a little branch or something and you're like, oh shit, fucking Casper. That's what I would have probably been, dude.
I mean, I always tell people, if you go looking for it, it's going to look for you.
True. There you go. That's a good way to put it.
I'll follow you home.
I wasn't there to look for spirits or anything like that. I was only there to look for the abandoned and the history of the building. So like this Saturday, I'm going to go to a ghost town called Cuervo.
Where's that?
It's past Santa Rosa.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a 2.5 hour drive from here. But
you do this during the day, or have you done it like at night? Go out like at night, maybe see if you do some paranormal activity there or something.
Not yet. Next month, a buddy of mine, they're from California. He's going to come down, and we're going to go to the slaughterhouse at night.
Oh shit! Bro, dude, okay, so like I've actually because I found all these exploration videos on YouTube, and they're pretty cool, dude. And like, there's some where they like explore like an abandoned Six Flags in New Orleans. There's a bunch of these different videos out there, and like, I'm like super down to kind of do it, but there's one big problem, and I don't know if you guys can fucking guess what this problem is. Misa, can you guess?
It's gonna be dark.
No, not that. Can you guess the problem with going to explore these abandoned places?
Well, I mean, I don't think you have enough pairs of underwear.
Okay. The biggest problem here is because in most of those fucking videos, you see these guys sprinting and running for like a mile or two, bro. That's not gonna happen, bro. Especially
like you wouldn't have enough underwear.
Especially because these places are private property. So if you fucking get onto the property, you're trespassing. Yeah. So if you have to run away, so I'm probably not. I'm not your best candidate. Yeah, you know what I mean? Misa might get away.
Wait in the car, Chris.
Well, maybe you need to train with Mr. Villa's gym.
Hey, there it is.
Would you be down to explore some abandoned places, Misa?
Yeah, dude, definitely.
Oh, there's a lot of abandoned places out there in El Paso and Las Cruces.
Yeah, I was actually thinking. I can't really think of an abandoned place out here. Do you know of one in El Paso?
I do. Southern Park Mall.
Damn, that was a low blow, bro.
Man, that thing's been abandoned since I was 15.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I don't think it even opened. It hasn't opened it, right?
I think it left when Mervin's left, honestly.
You know, they put a fucking...
I forgot Mervin's was in.
Do you guys know they put an indoor volleyball court in that mall?
Yeah, dude.
That is wild, bro.
Who plays volleyball to start with?
That's crazy, dude.
The ghosts that go there to Southern Park, bro. That's what it is, dude.
Yeah.
Other than okay, on the real though, do you know of any abandoned places here in El Paso?
There is like right at where the Puente Libre is. There's some buildings there that are they're shut down and abandoned. There was a guy that used to film there and lived there, but he put his YouTube down, so I don't know if he got in trouble.
Probably got in trouble, dude.
Yeah, so
yeah.
But I know in Las Cruces for sure, like out in the mountains, there's a lot of those old houses out there that people just leave.
Dude, definitely. We gotta go try. We gotta look for something, dude.
Dude, because like, yes, there are abandoned buildings downtown, but most of the time they're fucking like either secured with the fence or they're boarded up shut, like all the windows. And so like, I bet what happened with that guy is they caught him in there and they fucking took his memory card and then they fucking found all his footage and they're like, dude, we'll take your fucking channel down. If like, you know what I mean? And it's real, dude, you can get arrested for that shit. It's crazy.
He probably walked into a crack house or something.
Yeah, I mean,
now he's missing.
That's one thing that like us that we like to do the urban explorations is you don't trespass and you don't break in, you don't mess up the property, you leave it as is, you don't take anything from the place, and you just take the pictures, film, do what you got to do, and leave.
Yeah.
So like at that slaughterhouse, I actually went to the neighbors and I knocked on the door like 10 times and nobody came out. So I went through the back and the fence was knocked down. There was no trespass sign anywhere. I even went to the front. There was no trespassing. So I went in, like, you know, nobody bothered me. So it was cool. But I do want to go back that night.
Oh, it's going to be scary. Do you know how long it's been closed for? It's been abandoned?
I think for a good 20 years, I believe.
Yeah, that's abandoned for sure. That's what's up, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, the only
I'll have to send you the link of my video that I took. I uploaded it on YouTube.
And you're gonna film right? You're gonna film that experience. Okay, I want to see that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
cameras.
Yeah,
that shit's gonna be wild, dude. But yeah, one of the reasons I fucking brought this whole fucking exploring thing up was because. Like, I don't know a lot of other people when you randomly meet, they're like, hey, do you like abandoned places? And you're like, yeah, so do I.
What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to a slaughterhouse.
It's kind of weird, dude. It's kind of weird.
I'm going to go to a ghost town.
Yeah, right? It's weird. You never meet people like that. So when you brought that up, I was like, I definitely want to talk about that. But let's get into a little bit about like, obviously the thing that you're most passionate about is combat sports. We were talking about this off air before Misa got here. You said you don't really fuck with like the other sports, that you're just solely into combat sports. And obviously you used to fight. So tell us where that passion came from.
Oh man. So
I think it's,
I was throughout my high school and elementary and middle school, all my school year, I was bullied because I was the littlest Mexican in the fucking school. You know, it was easier to be picked on because my English wasn't that great. So, you know, I went to a pretty much all white school because my parents didn't want me to go to this ghetto schools because I grew up in the war zone. So La Mesa was there, you know, which was a pretty rundown school. So yeah, man. And I wanted to learn how to defend myself. So as I got a little bit older, when I was in Juarez, one of my uncles, he used to be a professional lucha libre, a professional wrestler for lucha libre. His name was El Demonio Rojo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So he took me, right? And after seeing my uncle, you know, wrestle and the moves and everything that he was doing in the ring, meeting the you know, the old school wrestlers like Mil Máscaras, El Santos, you know, all the guys, that kind of like inspired me to like, hey man, I need to start learning how to defend myself and kind of learn these moves in case something does happen to me. And my uncle taught me a little bit of moves. I came back to Albuquerque to go back to school, and one night, man, I was just flipping channels, and UFC 1 was on. It was a rerun of UFC 1. Dude, when I saw that, I was like, they're airing this on TV, and they're letting these guys beat the shit out of each other with no gloves.
No gloves on.
So let me stop you there.
Gracie was on there?
Let me stop you there. So UFC 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember what year this was?
I think I can't remember.
Dude, that's crazy because the UFC's at what?
90,
early 90s, 94,
90s, something like that, yeah.
That had to be like
okay. UFC 1 was in 1993, bro. I was 2 years old. I was 2 years old when that shit fucking came out. That's just wild, bro. That shit is crazy.
So did you end up like
the ring was circles? Probably no ropes.
Dude, that's wild.
And there was no weight class.
It was in a cage. No weight class.
You fight a 300 pound and you get 150 pounds.
Yeah, I was looking at this guy, which I didn't know who he was, which then I came to find out it was Royce Gracie, in a gi, fighting this big ass black dude that was like 300 and some pounds. I was like, how in the hell is this legal?
Yeah, dude.
And when I saw the little dude beating the shit out of this guy and submitting him, I was like, oh, okay. Now I really want to learn how to fight.
That's when you realize, like, you don't just beat somebody by like punching them or kicking them, man. There's so much more to martial arts and stuff like that, you know, choking somebody out. I always thought like, dude, if I'm going to get in a fight, I'm going to get punched or I'm going to have to punch somebody back. I never thought somebody's going to want to choke me out or like try and break my arm, you know, like with their own legs in between their thighs. Like, I don't know what kind of shit they do, but that's still very impressive to me, man. Like I was thinking the other day of choking Chris out with my ankles, but I don't know that's even.
But I don't know what you would call that move, but
but I mean, the UFC does that. It just gives me like the urge to like try something that nobody's seen before,
right?
Double elbow choke or something. I don't know.
So when did you first start fighting?
So after I graduated from high school, about 4 months after, you know, I was already 18. I told my parents I'm out. Had $100 in my pocket, backpack full of clothes, drove down over here to Albuquerque, lived in my car for about a month till I saved enough money to pay for rent. And it was in the war zone, so I was only paying like $200 a month with utilities included. So, I mean, that's how it is when you live in the war zone. It's pretty cheap.
Shit, I wouldn't mind $200 a month right now, dude. Anywhere you want, bro.
And so I started looking around, man, and I couldn't afford the school. So a year later, I met up with some I don't even remember who he was. I think it was a job that I was doing. And he was a instructor for a karate school. His name was for Chavez Karate. And he was like, hey, you know, come down and I'll teach you. So I went for about a month and I learned, and it was more karate than what I really wanted to learn. And one of the guys was like, hey, if you really want to learn, you know, the MMA stuff, talk to this guy. So met up with this guy named John, and he was teaching MMA at a dance studio. I was like, wait, a dance studio? You're teaching MMA in a dance studio? Like, they don't even have mats. So he's like, just come on, I'll you know, you'll like it. So I went, dude, I got hooked.
Damn.
I mean, he fucking badass guy. And Chavez called me up, man. And he's like, hey, do you want to fight? I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. I was like, when is it? He's like, 2 weeks. I was like, oh shit. Well, weight class. Tomorrow. He was like, well, I asked him, I was like, what weight class? And he's like, it's going to be at 170 pounds. No, it was 165 pounds. And I was like, all right, well, let's go. So 2 weeks, man. That's all I had to prep for a fight. I almost won that fight. Almost knocked him out. But, you know, he came in a little heavy and smothered me. And I tapped, but it was a good fight. The crowd loved it. The ref even came to us after the event. He was like, your fight was the best fight I refed all night.
Hey, so, the ref is telling you that? He's like right there?
Yeah, because he even refed the championship fight.
Nice.
And he was like, nah. So, yeah, man, I got hooked. I fought a couple more times, and then I stopped. Did a couple kickboxing tournaments, and I just had to stop because of work. I mean, I had to work. I couldn't get hurt, and I didn't want to leave the sport. So, you know, I started getting onto Facebook, and the rest is history, man. That's when I started the group and I started the website, and here I am, man.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about Fight Book MMA. Like that's the website you started, like you just said. So what is that website about? And like, why did you end up starting it in the first place?
You know, man, so when I started the Facebook group, it was just me and 10 other guys. You know, it was just us that wanted to just hang out every fight night just to talk instead of, you know, being on the phone or whatever. So we did the Facebook group. And then next thing you know, man, people started joining. And then I went and I was like, you know, I'm going to see if I can start doing some news, you know, post some articles or do like some feed for other websites that they can just go there, one-stop shop. They didn't have to go like everywhere and search for, you know, for content. They could just go to one spot. And eventually, man, it started getting traction. And a buddy of mine from Canada, man, he was like, hey, let's get you a legit website, and I'll teach you how to write. I didn't know how to write like combat sports journalism type writing. I knew how to write because of history in history class. I mean, that's the only type of writing I knew how to, you know, what to do. So he taught me, and yeah, man, Fight Book MMA, we grown a lot in the last 3 years. We became partners with a lot of MMA and kickboxing promotions. I have a team of writers. I have a team that helps me run the Facebook group, the Facebook page. I run all the other social medias. You can find everything and anything on the website. I mean, from amateur fights to pro fights to the mainstream, even to promotions that are like out in Brazil in the corner of, you know, whatever neighborhood that's not even sanctioned. And somehow they found me. Yeah, man, they'll email me all their work. Like the writer from there will say, hey, here's my article and my pictures. So I'll translate it and load it up. And with the pictures of the fighters, dude, in the last 3 years, a lot of those fighters from like Africa, Brazil, from all these other rural places, they've gone picked up by the UFC, from Bellator. They've been picked up from Brave, Combat One. I mean, these big promotions found them because I'm kind of affiliated with them anyways. So they'll see the content that I push. And they'll reach out and they're like, hey, who's this guy that you put on your website? And I'll tell them, look, here's the contact email him, and, you know, he'll link you up with the fighter.
Damn, that's awesome, dude. It's kind of like it's kind of like you're starting off with these fighters from when they first coming out, you know, when they're first, and then for them to make it all the way to the UFC, and then for you to be like, yo, you know, they're already on my stuff already. I think that's pretty cool, man. That I think you gotta have a good eye and kind of know your stuff in order for you to put stuff up like that, because then it'd be kind of like a waste of time if you see a bunch of stuff like that and then you don't hear about these guys again, you know, kind of like Aaron over there.
Well, that's the reason why I wanted to do the website, was because me being an amateur, I never got the spotlight. I never had the chance to talk to media. I never had the chance to tell them my story. Like, why did I get into fighting? Why am I fighting? You know, you get these journalists that like Ariel Helwani, or, you know, these guys from MMA Junkie or from ESPN, you know, they always want to look for McGregor or for John Jones, Holly Holmes, all the big names, right, of these promotions, but never the little guys, or even the up and comers. You know, the guys that are making their pro debuts, or they've only got 2 fights under their belt as a pro. You know, they still don't get that spotlight. So I figured, why not I create a platform to give to these guys and these females to be able to put their name out there. And so a lot of the interviews that we do, they're amateurs. They're even fighters that are barely making their MMA debut as an AMI. They've done jiu-jitsu tournaments, you know, they've done their kickboxing, they've done Muay Thai, but they're doing their MMA. So that's the reason why, you know, I think the website's so successful, because we give the platform to these up-and-comers, to these amateurs that nobody knows who they are, but they get to know who they are because I have that platform with the audience that we have to get their name out there.
Nice. So this started with the website, right? And then eventually it branched off to you starting the podcast Sitting Ringside, right? And you said you go live every Thursday, or is it like every other Thursday? How does that work?
So it's every Thursday night, 7:00, 9:00 Eastern time, 7 Mountain time. We go live every Thursday night on Sportscaster, YouTube, our Facebook page. We're everywhere, man. We try to go live wherever we can, wherever Restream lets us. That's where we go live. So Sitting Ringside. So my first co-host, he actually had the Sitting Ringside podcast with another co-host. Because of the website, I found them just randomly, like how I found y'all. I was like, oh, I'm gonna see who these guys are. I mean, it was a cool name, Sitting Ringside. I figured, why not listen? And after the first episode, man, I got hooked. I reached out to them and I was like, hey, let's put your podcast on the website, or let's promote you on the Facebook group. And next thing you know, man, they've gotten a lot of fans, but they had to shut down about 4 years. And I still kept in touch with the main co-host, the co-host, which is Arlo. We became good friends, to even say we're best friends. And he reached out and he was like, hey, what if we bring back Sitting Ringside and you run it and I'll be your co-host? I was like, all right. So I reached out to my my right-hand man. I was like, hey, Rudy, let's produce a podcast, and it's going to be called Sitting Ringside, and it's going to be me and Arlo. So the rest is history, man. The podcast is doing great. And right now, Arlo, he's not there anymore because he actually opened his own boxing gym for kids and for females. He's teaching them self-defense. So,
kids, dude.
Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, and congratulations on the podcast. Definitely. Because to be able to revive it after the podcast had gone down for a few years, and then you guys went back and said, hey, you know what, let's bring this back, let's continue to give people the content that they want, and then to see people actually respond and react and show you that, hey, yeah, we did miss this type of content. Like, I'm sure it feels good, and like I'm sure that it's a big accomplishment for you guys, right?
Yeah, man, at first when we started, our viewership was like 2.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that, bro.
It was just like 2, then it went to 3, then I started pushing it, and the next I started growing. And eventually I got onto Anchor, started uploading our audio on there, which I need to do the last 4 episodes. I've been slacking on that, but well, on top of all the other stuff I do, I mean, we'll get into that later, but yeah, Pandora picked us up. So we're like, all right, well, we'll get on Pandora.
Oh, yeah.
iHeart, then, then all the other podcasts, just trickled in. Now we're on, we were on Fight TV, but yeah, I had to. What was that?
So these guys are everywhere. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we were on Fight TV, and it was a good year. It was a good run with them, but I had to, call it quits because it started to take a toll on us because it was a scheduled live type of podcast. So then I reached out to Sportscaster, and they were like, let's go. And after the first episode, the PR guy from Sportscaster emailed me, and they're like, hey, I want to have a Zoom call with you. I was like, oh, shit, did we screw up?
Damn.
And just like you guys, he wanted to know what was Fight Book MMA about? How did Sitting Ringside come about? And are we going to stick around? And I was like, all right, cool. So, yeah, man, it's been fun. We love it.
That's what's up, dude. So we're coming up on the 35-minute mark here. We've talked to you a little bit about your story, but we still have some more stuff to get into. But let's go ahead and take a break. And then when we come back, guys, we're going to talk to Roberto about a little bit about his relationship with Ken Shamrock. I don't know if you guys don't know who he is, go ahead and Google him. He used to, I mean, he's Like this guy fought for years. He was even in WWF. He was a wrestler. The guy's a well-known guy. So we're going to talk to Roberto about that. We'll also bring up the Conor McGregor fight. Somebody got knocked out. We'll tell you we'll tell you who got knocked out. And then we'll get into a little bit more about what's going on with the state of the UFC at this moment. So conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast guys, episode number 60. Make sure to fucking go follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to on Apple Podcasts that you leave a rating and a review. And also, guys, guess what's coming back for this episode? A segment that we haven't had in about 12 episodes. Misa's got thoughts from the shower, and we're going to do that with Roberto, and we're going to surprise him with that because we didn't tell him about this. But yeah, that's going to come in the second half, guys. So thoughts from the shower, Ken Shamrock, Conor McGregor, all that second half. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let's take this break, and we will be right back. All right, one more time. Yo, what's good? It's your boy Hoodie Chris from Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. I'm here to tell you guys about I Glass. Their link is below. You need to go check them out. I Glass makes handcrafted glass products locally here in the 915. And they range in uses from pipes, decorations, jewelry, pendants, and more. My boy Luis even got himself a goddamn hummingbird, bruh. So make sure you guys go hit up my boy Aaron Lee and tell him that Chris and Misa sent you from the podcast. And go support a local El Paso business today. Let's go. All right, guys, we are back from our break, Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast, episode number 60. Featuring our boy, friend of the podcast, Mr. Roberto Villa. Guys, make sure you are following us on Facebook. Make sure you guys are liking us on Instagram. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button on YouTube. I know a lot of you guys are watching on YouTube, but a lot of you guys aren't subscribed, so that's a problem. So you got to subscribe.
Yeah, it makes no sense that we get 700 plays on one video and we only got 200 subscribers.
Yes. Okay, so something's not adding up there. I'm not going to do the math because I suck at math, but something's not adding up. Okay. Anyways, guys, so Mr. Villa, thank you for being on today. How are you feeling the vibe on this episode so far?
Love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, dude. Yes, sir. He loves it, guys. He fucking loves it.
I like it a lot.
All right. So as we mentioned at the end of the first half, we were going to talk to you about your relationship with Mr. Ken Shamrock. Go ahead and get into that a little bit. Like I said, guys, if you don't know who he is, go look him up. We're going to get into it right now because we don't have to explain who Ken Shamrock is. So
we shouldn't have to, but
yeah, we shouldn't have to. So go ahead, Mr. Villa, tell us about that. How did that all start?
Well, it's funny because obviously, everybody knows who Ken Shamrock is. I mean, he's a WWE superstar. I mean, he's a MMA legend. Yeah, so it's
this is the part where like a picture pops up, like right here.
Yeah, we'll put a picture
right
of Ken
here.
Shamrock
You see
right
this
here.
guy right here? That's who we're talking about.
So my wife and I, we were at the mall and we were eating, and I get this text message and I was like, "What? This guy wants to talk to me about Ken Shamrock?" I was like, "All right, And I was like, "For Ken Shamrock?" He's like, "Yeah, like the MMA god, the legend, the WWE legend." He's like, "Yes." I was like, "Let me put you on hold real quick."
He passed out for like 5 seconds.
Well, my mouth was like, dropped, and my wife's like, "Okay, what's this about?" So I told her, and she's like, do it. Like, all right. So, got myself out, situated. And I was like, "Yeah, I want to back for Ken Shamrock."
Yeah, I took my schedule. I could do it.
Yeah, you literally had to pull yourself together. You had to
Man, I was like
find your composure, like settle your ass down, like you know what I mean? Like
He had already said yes, but he wasn't saying anything.
he's like, hold on, let me put you on hold. Let me ask my wife.
Hey, you have to ask first,
Hey, I gotta ask the boss, man.
Yeah. Okay, so then you obviously you tell him yes, and then where does it go from there?
So I started writing for, Ken Shamrock, he started a bare knuckle fighting promotion. It's called Valor BK. And I was going to be the writer from Valor BK to on. So I started doing a lot of interviews of the fighters. I started doing a lot of profiles, uploading it onto the website. We were promoting it. The company put a lot of money into it to start the promotion, right? The part 2, I guess, if you want to call it. And the people in Florida, they screwed them up. The venue was like being a little shady, so they had to stop. And then COVID came, and they put a halt on the putting Valor BK2 on. So then Ken Shamrock, he at a team meeting, he was like, "Hey, we just do a podcast." And then I was asked to do writing for the description of the YouTube channel, the website, Twitter, all the social medias for Ken Shamrock. So I run all his social medias. And yeah, man, I just work for him. He'll come up once in a while and we'll throw ideas. And
that's crazy, dude. You know what I would be? I'd be like, yo, you read that right there? I know the guy who wrote that shit. You read that? You read that? Did you read it? Yeah, I know the guy who wrote it.
That's what's up, dude. So obviously that's like a partnership that you're going to continue to like pursue, and you're going to continue to like work with him, right?
Oh yeah. So this week he's recording an episode. So what they do is they send me the link to the raw footage, and I'll listen to it, and then I got to put into like 2 paragraphs of what the whole episode is about and try to get people to want to click and listen to the show. Yeah. That part is tricky, man. That part is hard because to write a description of a show for people to actually sit there and read it, because attention span of people is like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So you got to hook them like, oh shit, he's going to talk about what? All right, I got to listen to Ken and see what he's. So
that's why we leave that hard part to our boy Molina, man. He's
shout out Molina.
Yeah, he's like our executive.
The descriptions and the thumbnails, bro. That's your first chance to grab somebody's attention. So those things are very like intricate, and so like Misa was saying, we have a friend that helps us with those. And, you know, like it's very important because, like you said, you only have like a few amount of seconds to grab somebody and pull them in. So it's funny that you realize the importance of that. But speaking about like MMA fighting, there's a big fight this past weekend. I'm pretty sure you watched it. I know Aaron over here, Dolph watched it. Misa watched it. I saw most of it. I didn't see like the full card or whatever, but tell us a little bit about that card. Any fight that stood out to you, and then obviously we'll get into the main event with McGregor. But tell us a little bit about that card. You're our residential fucking UFC like sports reporter.
That's right.
So I grade this card a good 8.5.
Nice.
You know, just because most of the prelims there were by unanimous decisions. The one fight, man, that I really wanted to watch was the main and the co-main event. I wanted to see Michael Chandler, see what he's got, because I knew this guy was going to be a badass in the UFC. He's done great in Bellator, but for some Bellator guys to jump onto the UFC, the transition is really hard because the UFC is just on another level.
Right.
But I've been following Chandler for years, and I've been calling him for the past 5, 6, 7 years. I was like, man, this guy needs to jump onto the UFC before it's too late. So Saturday night came, Chandler, I mean, he looked phenomenal. His boxing was good. And Dan Hooker, man, he is just another badass fighter. I mean, if you beat Dan Hooker, I mean, you're good.
You're legit.
You can retire.
Yeah. You're legit. Yeah, man, you're legit. The way Michael Chandler defeated Hooker was just like unheard of.
First round, right?
Yeah.
First round TKO.
It was awesome. It was awesome. All my friends were texting me. They're like, "Damn it, Robert, why didn't you put money in it?"
Everybody was worried about fucking gambling and shit. America. Money first.
They were like, "You should have put money in it." And I was like, "Well, how come y'all didn't listen to me? Y'all should have put money into it."
Right. That's what's up. And that was the co-main event, right?
Co-main event. Yes, sir.
And then Misa, the main event was between obviously Conor McGregor, but who was he fighting?
Dustin Poirier.
Okay.
Dustin Poirier, man.
Okay, cool.
Dustin Diamond Poirier.
You know what? Coming into his fight, I'm not a big UFC follower, but I know the big names, Poirier and when it comes to McGregor. And I seriously thought that McGregor was kind of come back probably even better. He seemed more wise. He seemed more he wasn't that shit talker that you're used to seeing him. He seemed more humble. He seemed like a champ that knew his lesson after getting his ass beat and knowing like, hey, you know what, this is some real game. He used to do what he used to do and he was good at it. But once you get beat, then you start thinking about changing your ways. And so when I saw him, I actually thought like, hey man, he used to be a badass. Now imagine him being, how he is humble and stuff. Now this guy's going to tear shit up. And I was completely wrong, man. I still thought, the beginning of the first round, throughout the whole first round, I thought McGregor had it. I thought McGregor had it in the pocket. Second round started. I still thought, hey, but then those kicks started seeing McGregor wasn't checking those leg kicks. Yeah. And I think that's what killed him. If you notice towards the end, I always thought I was thinking get away. What the hell are you doing just standing there? Dude couldn't walk. And then being hit like that, he went night.
Yep.
But what about you? What do you think about McGregor and that whole how everybody sees him as probably the best or the second best in the UFC? Have you ever thought like that about McGregor?
I never liked the guy.
Straight up, like no. Who the fuck is that guy?
Straight up. Got me arse kicked. Too much proper 12. Got me arse.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, no, you know what, man? Conor McGregor is a phenomenal athlete. What he does in the cage especially his stand-up, is just on another level. What he does outside the cage, that's where I'm like, this guy's no.
Yeah, he's got a lot of enemies.
I can't support a guy like him and root for a guy like him, even though he is such a great athlete. Now, I did post on Facebook. I did watch the post-fight press conference. It was like at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I was watching it, listening to it on my way to work, and he kind of changed me a little bit because he was so respectful to Poirier. He was so respectful to the other fighters that were on the panel and all the other past fighters that he fought. Very humbled. That was something that I've never seen before, ever, in front of the camera. Now, off camera, I don't know how he is. I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah, man.
What do you think? What do you think the future for what holds for McGregor? What do you think he's going to be doing? You think he'll be up in the cards again?
Aren't they going to do that so like I said, I'm not the hugest UFC fan, but this was round 2 of this fight, right? Yes. These guys had not round 2, but the second bout between these two. So now I guess they're lined up for like a third fight, right? Because they've each won one. So now they're like, we have to settle the score. The third one's all that matters, right? So I think that's his next move. But
if Dustin doesn't retire, because I mean, I think I heard something that he was saying that he didn't love this shit no more.
He was saying that he was talking to Smack, and I guess him and Nate Diaz are supposed to fight now. I want to see that.
True. That's
Nate
crazy.
Diaz is still fighting.
Well, I mean, he's got smacked up, unfortunately, because I'm a fan of him. Yeah, he got beat the last couple times.
Because he was too high.
He
was out there fucking blazed.
All I gotta say is I like Jake Paul.
Okay, hold on.
That's why I wanted to transition.
Before we get into Jake Paul, so
say less.
So McGregor got his fucking leg broken during the fight from the leg kicks. Is that what happened?
Walked out on the crib.
Okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew like he got knocked out, but I didn't know that he fucking broke his leg. God bless, dude. Jesus Christ.
Stress fractures.
Fuck. I could never fight in the UFC, dude. Fuck that. My finger got burned and I'm like fucking paralyzed.
That was 2 months ago.
That was 2 months ago. I can't even ball my fist.
He was flipping a tortilla.
Roberto.
Yes, I was flipping a tortilla
2 months ago, Roberto.
You know,
2 months ago.
Okay, anyway, so what
I asked him if he wanted to go hiking. He said, I can't. My finger
hurts. I
Get
can't.
out of here.
Okay, so so what about Jake Paul? Is he fighting somebody like soon?
First of all, I need to ask Mr. V over here. What do you think about Jake Paul, man? There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of love for this guy. What does Mr. V think about him?
He's a douchebag.
Yes, that should be his first name. Douchebag Paul.
Hold on. Be careful because look, you can fight, but we can't. So I don't want these problems. I don't want these hands, bro. Because look, I don't want to be knocked out now. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, real quick. You know, like he's just talked so much shit, and it made me laugh how right after McGregor got knocked out, he came out with this video, you know, laughing at McGregor because he had offered McGregor $50 million to fight for him. I think McGregor only got paid $5 million to fight in this fight or something like that. I'm not even sure.
I got the scoop on the pay.
Oh, there's a scoop on the pay.
Okay, go ahead and clarify for us.
So he earned $55,000 a second during his loss against Dustin Poirier. So
a second.
So he was guaranteed $5 million just for turning up for the fight, just to show up. Guaranteed $5 million.
$5 million, nice.
And the ESPN Plus event sold a minimum of 1.6 million pay-per-views. So McGregor took home $20 million from those pay-per-view buys.
Dude, to be put to sleep, bro. Sign me up. Dude, I'll do it for $5.
He's like, yeah, dude. You see?
Who wouldn't want to fight at that point, you know?
That's crazy.
But now going back to Jake Paul, man, what do you think about this? Like, you know, the whole YouTubers going, or, you know, how Nate Robinson came through as well. Do you think that's something like that? I mean, obviously it's entertainment and people would want to watch it, but is it really like affecting? Is it putting like a down thing on boxing, on the name of boxing, or how people see boxing?
So the Jake Paul situation, like, yeah, he needs to make money because I believe he was banned from YouTube. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I think that was Logan Paul.
Yeah, I was like, I
think that was his brother.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, like those guys make a lot of fucking money, bro. They do. So, like, the way I view this is like these guys are fucking just taking advantage, and rightfully so, because obviously they're making generational wealth for themselves. But they're taking advantage of people wanting to see famous people fight famous people, right? There's always been that like appetite here in the United States where we want to see famous people fucking fight each other. But at the same time, they kind of are doing like a discredit to all the people who like seriously train for fighting combat sports. You know what I mean? They're doing them a discredit. But at the same time, if these guys go in there and fucking ball out and have a good fight, then, you know, at least they're respecting the art in that way. But I'm not mad at these guys trying to grab some cash. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Jake Paul is fighting now Ben Askren, man. What do you think that turnout's going to be?
So Ben Askren does not have good hands. He's not a great boxer. Jake Paul, I mean, as we see, he knocked out one of his opponents. Obviously, he's got power in those hands. He is a bigger dude. I think Ben Askren is just taking this fight for the money. That's all it is. If he gets his ass kicked, he don't care. He's gonna get paid anyways.
Do you think he will though?
I think so. I think Jake Paul can knock him out.
Oh, there you go. When is that fight?
There's a difference between April 17th. There's a difference between MMA boxing and straight up boxing. Ben Askren trains MMA boxing, and Jake Paul trains boxing. So the hands are going to be a little bit different. So that's why
I mean, at least Ben Askren has he's a fighter, you know, he knows when to move around. Compared to Jake Paul's last fights, I think if anything, this would probably be the hardest fight he'll have.
A bigger challenge.
Is this
scheduled for like? Is it scheduled for a traditional boxing bout, or is it?
I think it's like 8 rounds,
or is it a UFC bout?
No, it's a
boxing.
bout.
Okay, cool. I'm sure that shit's gonna draw a lot of numbers, dude. And like, I talked to you, Roberto, about this. I don't know if you guys saw like what happened with the whole streaming service ESPN Plus, where this was broadcasted on. They so a little backstory. Dana White, who's like the head guy of UFC, this guy has been trying to shut down these fucking streaming sites that will post all these fights for free instead of having to pay the ESPN Plus subscription plus the $65 for the pay-per-view. So this guy, fucking Dana White, was talking shit about like, oh, I'm shutting you streamers down, baby. I'm coming for you. I'm taking you all down. I'm taking you straight to the jail, you motherfuckers. And so he was talking all this shit, and
Chris was like, who the fuck is that guy?
So this guy calls out all these streamers, right? And because like now he's been given power from the US government to be able to actually go after and like shut down these streaming sites. Before that wasn't the case. That's why these streaming sites were so like active and people knew about them, and they were the UFC was losing money to these guys. So anyways, he gives these threats to these streamers saying, I'm coming for you one after another, and I'm going to get you, and I'm going to fucking tear you up. And when I see you, it's motherfucking on. Okay. So he's talking all this shit, bro. He's talking all this shit. And then these guys, who he calls them hackers, they fucking shut down the ESPN Plus stream mid-fight, bro. They said, what's up, bro? They pulled his fucking card on this bitch ass, bro. That shit is crazy.
We're gonna cut you off, motherfucker.
Yeah,
they pulled his man card for sure.
Like, and I think it's crazy because like, and I don't know if you guys read about this, but the way that he got this power from the government now to do this was some legislation that was passed in the COVID-19 relief package that just got us that last round of $600.
We did?
Yeah, so like what the fuck, dude? Like people don't even realize like they're passing all this shit under this fucking COVID package, and now you have Dana White in a fucking war with streamers, or not streamers, hackers, shutting down the ESPN Plus stream, dude. It's crazy. What are your thoughts on that?
Dana White is like, yo, y'all just got $600. Fucking pay for this shit.
he's like, I know you have money, motherfuckers. I know you can pay for this. So yeah, real fast. I just wanted to bring that up, but what are your thoughts on that?
So a lot of these streamers, they're actually not even hosting the streams. They're just embedding the live streams to their website. So it's not like these websites are actually hosting the streams, and they're not even asking for money. Like they're not asking for donations. They're not asking to put your credit card number so that way you can watch the stream. Yeah, there might be a couple, or some websites that do that, which they're stupid to even do that, because they're actually going to redirect you to that free website. That's all it is.
The free websites are like Robinhood to me, dude. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank
you. Given to the poor.
So, a lot of fighters were pissed. They were pissed at Dana White because they were tweeting at him, "Yo, you don't want us to watch an illegal stream, yet ESPN Plus has crashed. How am I? I just gave you my last $70, yet I can't even watch the entire card."
Hey, there you go.
So it's kind of ironic that he's over here telling all these streamers, "I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to shut you down."
Do that shit again. Watch.
Yeah, dude. And look, that's my main point. Is like, dude, of all people you want to call out are people who are like really good at using the internet and getting information that they shouldn't have access to. You don't want to call out those guys. Those guys are going to fuck your shit up. And they did, bro. They shut down the fucking stream during the fucking live like telecast. They're like, all right, hit the button. Shut that bitch down.
Fucking 2021, dude.
Dude, it's crazy.
Oh my God. Anything's possible.
God. All right. So let's transition from
Not
the
me.
combat
I was
sports.
watching the fights perfectly fine with my live stream.
Same.
Yeah. There we go. Round of applause. You're not getting my credit card, Dana. You're not. You're not. But if you want to be on our podcast, you want to be on the podcast, hit me up, dude. Anytime, slide through. I got you. You know, we'll fucking do whatever it takes.
I know he's watching. He's watching, dude.
All right, so let's transition a little bit. By the time this is out, guys, this will be released a week before Super Bowl Sunday, and we just want to touch on the game really fast. We don't want to get like all crazy, but Super Bowl Sunday, guys, will be featuring your boy Tom Brady versus Pat Mahal of Fame. I think that's what they call him now. Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs against the Bucks and Tom Brady. Real fast, I just think it's crazy that fucking Tom Brady at age 43 is still doing his fucking thing, and it doesn't matter what team he plays for. And I think Belichick needed Tom Brady more than Tom Brady needed Belichick. That's just my opinion. But you see the difference once Brady leaves New England. They don't even get into the fucking playoffs. And then fucking Tom Brady makes another fucking Super Bowl.
Dude, Tom Brady was pretty much like picked a random team. I was like, you guys want to go to the Super Bowl? All right, let's go.
Let's go. Hey, you want to go to the bowl?
Yeah, you want to go?
You want to go bowling, baby? Let's go.
And you know what's so cool, man? I saw a picture earlier of Tom Brady when he first won the Super Bowl. And then a picture of Mahomes the same at the same time when Brady, and he was like 5 years old.
6 years old.
He was like 5, 6 years old playing baseball in the backyard.
Yeah, dude.
And now they're both
crazy.
facing off, man. That's unbelievable.
So yeah, real fast, let's go around. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl this year? Dolph Jimenez back here off camera. Who you got?
Chiefs 35-28.
Okay, Misa, who you got?
I got Chiefs, dude. Chiefs 28-21.
I'm going Bucks. Tom Brady, he's gonna keep doing his fucking thing. It's gonna be 28-21. Tom Brady wins another fucking Super Bowl. Mr. Villa, I know you said like we mentioned earlier, you're not the hugest football fan, but do you have a prediction on who's gonna win the Super Bowl?
The Cowboys.
The Chiefs. Hey, hey, shut up.
Go Pack.
We're not talking about the Packers today. You guys blew your shot. So you sit there just like me, like a Cowboy fan. You're out of it. You stay out of it, okay? And a Charger fan. Just that's it. We're talking about
quarterback, a rookie of the year guy.
Okay, hold on. We're talking about the Chiefs and the Bucks, the Super Bowl. We don't care about the Chargers or the Cowboys or the Packers right now. Okay. God damn it.
I don't want to hear that.
And Mr. Roberto said,
don't care in the same sentence again.
That Chiefs are fucking winning. So there's 3-1. I'm the only one going with Brady. So we'll see how that goes. And actually, we'll have that dude from K-Fox, the sports anchor, Cowboy Keith the Molder. We're going to interview him the day after the Super Bowl. And we'll see whose predictions are right. How about that?
He's gonna be like me, so you did it right.
All right, guys. So let's transition towards the end of the podcast here. We haven't done this segment in a while. I'm excited for it. I think Misa's excited for it, right? This segment is called Thoughts from the Shower with Misa. Go ahead, Misa. Take it away.
Let me get in this hot shower real quick, man. It's been a while, dude. It's been how long?
It's been like 2 months.
It's been a while since I've showered, guys. Anyways. Hey. Instead of beef jerky, why isn't it called beef raisin? Hey. Physical exercise is important to health. How did Stephen Hawking live to the age of 76? Hey. If it's 0 degrees outside and tomorrow will be twice as cold, how cold would it be?
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. All right, so I don't know where to start with these shower thoughts. Okay, so normally what we do, you got Mr. V over here cracking up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go by one and just kind of break these down. So let's start with the last one. Misa said if it's 0 degrees outside and tomorrow's supposed to be twice as cold, how cold is it outside? Mr. Villa, tell us.
0 degrees.
Double zero.
Double zero, baby.
Double zero.
Negative zero.
Okay.
Negative zero.
Oh shit. Okay. The second one that Misa said was, if physical exercise is important, how did Stephen Hawking live to be how old? 70 what?
76.
76 years old. Okay. Okay.
That's why I don't exercise, dude. Like Stephen Hawking made it. I can too.
How far will I? I'll make it to 75 at least. Okay, Mr. Villa, thoughts on that? How did Mr. Hawkins make it to 75 years old? 76 years old without physical exercise.
Maybe he's a genius.
That's all it comes down to, right? Okay, what was your first one, Misa? I forget the first one.
My first one was, why is it called beef jerky and not beef raisin? I mean, because like beef jerky is dried, right? That's how they make
That's
grapes.
what makes it jerky, right?
That's how you make. How do you make a raisin?
I thought a raisin was a dehydrated grape.
Yeah. So what's meat?
Beef jerky is dehydrated meat.
Yeah, exactly. The beef jerky. So why wouldn't they just call it like beef raisin?
Because I don't know.
Why jerky?
Raisin beef.
Raisin beef?
Hey, raisin beef.
Imagine being a grape, bro, and you're fucked up and you're super drunk and you're chilling and you go to sleep and you're so dehydrated you wake up a fucking raisin. Dude.
That's what they should call the day after New Year's. Raisin day.
Raisin day. Everybody's dehydrated and drunk. It's the raisin day.
It's just crudo. Pinche cruda.
Oh, shit. Okay. God bless. Okay. So those are thoughts from the shower with Misa. We haven't done that segment in a long time.
Yeah, I've been asked to go back to him for a while. So to our fans, I've been asking for it.
Yeah, but Mr. Villa, thank you for participating in that. Oh shit! Okay,
he's gonna go to his wife and if it's 0 degrees right now,
he's gonna ask her and see what she
Double
says.
Zero.
All right, guys. So she's gonna be like, "What do they do to you on that fucking podcast?" God bless.
Oh, God bless.
So we're coming up on the 33rd minute. We're going to do 5 random questions with our boy, Roberto Villa here.
It's about that
time.
And
what time is it, Aaron? Do you know what time it is? Guys, do you guys know what time it is? It's 9:53.
That is right, guys. And that means it is time for the 5 random questions here at Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast, hosted by your boy, Chris Marquez.
Hey, everybody. Episode number 60, 5 random questions with our boy, Roberto Villa.
Take it away, Chris.
Are you guys ready for 5 random questions? Dolph, are you ready?
Fire mama.
Misa, are you ready? Jesus.
I'm ready.
Mr. Villa, are you ready for 5 random questions?
I'm ready.
He's ready, guys. Okay. Mr. Villa, question number 1. What is the screensaver on your phone and why is it there?
Shit. It's like a bunch of skulls and dragons.
Oh, shit.
Shit. I don't even know if I want to ask.
Satan.
It's probably that abandoned building is where he came from last night, dude. Damn.
So he's the one putting those.
So you got a bunch of so you have a bunch of skulls and dragons as your phone screensaver. Yes, dude. Are they like in a pattern or is there a color scheme to it? What's up?
It's all black and gray and dark. It looks scary.
Does it scare you when you look at it?
Sometimes.
Hey, that's when you know it's good, dude.
Sometimes I feel in my pants when I look at my phone. Like, oh shit!
Whoa! Whoa! All right, question number 2, Mr. Villa. What is your favorite swear word and why?
All of them.
Fuck. Yeah, dude, fuck is good, bro. Fuck is so versatile.
I like to say shit.
I love saying that word because when you say it and you mean it, you feel it right here.
Yeah, you feel it. You feel it right here. Fuck!
You're like,
Oh, when you forget something and it's one of those like, fuck.
Yes.
Fuck, bro. Shit.
So when my wife hears me say that, she's like, "Oh, great, what happened?"
Yeah. There's different variations of fuck too, because like you could be seeing something crazy that's like really bad, and you're like, "Fuck, bro, no!" Like, "Oh shit!" Or like the cops could be right behind you, and you could be like, "Oh fuck, homie, like we're cooked."
It's hard, you know. I don't know about Mr. Villa, but I got kids, little kids around the house, so it's hard for me to swear. Because my wife told me, it's like, hey, what if like one day somebody comes up to her kids like, hey, what's your name? And then my son's gonna be like, my name's Sebastian, but my dad calls me fuckhead or something, you know? Like, no, it's turd to you.
All right, guys. Question number 3 of the 5 random questions with our boy Roberto Villa. Okay, Mr. Villa, this is subjective. This is up to you. But what would you describe as the best human characteristic that there is, and what would you say is also the worst characteristic that there is in humans?
The best, outgoing.
Hey. That's a good one. That's a solid answer.
You gotta be outgoing, man. Because if you're not, you're gonna be miserable.
That's true. That's true. You're gonna be lonely with no friends.
Yeah, and then end up burning your finger and shit.
Okay, so there you go. Drop the laugh for that one. There you go. Okay, so what would you say is the worst characteristic?
Being a douchebag.
A douchebag? Yeah. Misa, you got a worst and a best for that answer? Or for that question?
I don't know, man. That's hard. I'd have to think about it really hard.
I'd say the worst is greed. Number 1, that's the worst. Greed. Yeah. That's not good. The best I would probably say is like the willingness to like help other people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like just like when you see like a lady like pulled over on the side of the road and some guy like stops, not me, but some guy stops. God forbid, not me. Helps her change the tire.
That's where Chris falls in that douchebag.
It's because I don't know how to change the tire. So I'm going to waste everyone's time and say like, hey, I'm here to save the day. Well, no, I'm not, because I'm going to make things worse. So let's get a professional in here.
Chris would be that guy that feels bad that he didn't stop, so he'll stop just to tell the guy that he can't help him.
Yeah.
You know? Good? All right.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. I'll help, but I don't know.
I don't know how to help you.
Good, though.
All right, Dolph, real fast. The worst and best characteristics in humans are
love. Both of them.
Say it. Hurry up. Go.
Oh, well, yeah, the worst is greed, and then the best has to be, honesty.
Honesty. There you go. There you go. You got to be able to trust the people you're talking to.
Hey, exactly, Aaron. No sea mamón.
All right, question number 4. Question number 4, guys. We were gonna skip you, but we knew we were gonna get that answer. Honesty. Get out of here. You're not even honest with yourself.
I asked him if he had any beer, and he's like, nah. Then he's got like 3 tall boys in front of him.
Question number 4, Mr. Roberto. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Of
course, dude.
Yeah, you live in New Mexico. All you guys fucking believe in aliens.
Come on,
like
dude.
Roswell. Like you built a whole town on that shit.
Chris is getting all pissed off.
Like a whole town on that conspiracy.
Hey,
I think there's like something like in one of those COVID relief bills that they have to disclose all the information that the government knows about aliens. So it should be an interesting couple of months. You know
aliens.
what I mean?
We got an illegal one here.
I got my fucking card. I'm good. Okay, question number 5. And this is like a question that's really going to determine how us and the audience perceive you as a human being in general. So think about it, okay? When you go to the grocery store and, you go into the Walmart, you get your shopping cart, you load it up, you pay for your shit, you walk out, you load it all into the car. Are you the person that's leaving the cart right there on the curb next to like where all the other cars are parked? Or are you taking that cart back to the corral like a decent human being would do?
I take that bitch back to the corral.
Hey, there you go.
You know what? I think Mr. Villa is also one of those guys that would take somebody else's cart that's just left there on the way to take his.
Yeah, I can see that.
On the way, I'll get it and I'll put it in there.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God. You're a stand-up American citizen. I love you. That's just
breaking news. Mr. Robert Villa over here puts his card away like everybody else should, guys.
Yes. PSA.
Yes, that is my pet peeve. I hate seeing the cards, even if it's like right next to the bay, and it's, dude, it just takes.
That's even worse because it's like it's right there. Just put it away
in the parking spot. You're like,
yeah. Don't even get me started on the carts in the parking spot. Oh shit! Don't get me started on that. Okay, guys. Episode 60, conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Let's get ready to wrap this shit up. Let's go around the virtual Zoom meeting here, and we're gonna give our final thoughts on the podcast today. So let's start with Dolph Jimenez in the back. Final thoughts on the podcast today.
But it was just another day.
Hey, you should
great contribution.
Open your eyes when you're talking, bro.
It was another day of solid work, and just like Dr. Dre said, onto the next episode.
Okay.
Hey. Fucking quoting Dr. Dre.
Use your words. Express yourself.
This is like Dr. Dre said. On to the next episode.
It's like, it's just, gold hit after gold hit, platinum record after platinum.
Hey, dude. It sounds like it gets tiring. Don't worry. You'll get some rest after this.
Misa,
yes,
final thoughts on the podcast.
Mr. Villa, man, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time. I'm sorry I was late. Thank you for being patient, man.
Can't excuse that shit.
Hey, go to sleep, guy. But like I said, man, you're a very interesting guy. I hope our listeners look you up and they see all the work that you're doing. For sure, I'm gonna force Chris and maybe we'll make a trip up to Albuquerque and we'll do a little wrestling and a little gold hunting at night.
Yeah, we
gotta go somewhere where we're gonna have to run. I wanna time Chris's 40.
You're gonna need like a fucking long ass fucking stopwatch, bro.
But again, man, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Everybody listening and watching, I appreciate you guys. Chris, another good one, bro. Thanks for being here.
Of course,
doing your thing.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody listening, make sure to be safe and stay fresh.
Mr.
Villa, thank you. Yes.
Mr. Villa, final thoughts on today's episode, man.
No, I mean, thanks so much for having me. This is like my second time being on a guest on another podcast, so this was actually a lot of fun. I had a blast hanging out with you guys. Just Google Fight Book MMA, and you'll find everything that needs to know about what the website's about and sitting ringside and. But yeah, man, I had a blast.
Nice, dude. Thank you for those thoughts. Final thoughts from me, guys. Go support our boy Roberto Villa. Go check out his podcast. Go visit his website. Go support the work that he's doing. Support the people that support us. That's what this is about. Thank you, like I said earlier, for spending time with us today. Thank you, number one, for reaching out to a complete stranger in me on YouTube and Facebook and creating this connection. And then now a few weeks later, we're here doing this fucking podcast. So.
He just slid in your DMs?
Yeah, he slid in my DMs, bro. I usually slide in the DMs. And I got slid in on and I was like,
Chris usually is the one with his knee.
But yeah, I'm usually the one sliding into DMs.
He's usually the one.
So with all that being said, man, thank you again for being here. Shout out to you guys. Go support them. Episode 60, Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Make sure you guys are liking on Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Leave a rating and a review, guys. That helps us get onto the trending podcast charts. So with all that being said, guys, episode 60, Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. We all... Yeah.